When I was getting ready yesterday, trying to get ready for the service, my father, who knows me very well, knows that I'm kind of a last-minute person. So he texted me and said, "I found a reading for you." Saturday afternoon. And he was right. This is a book, Braiding Sweetgrass, by Robin Wall Kimmerer, which I know many of us have read. And my dad and I both love this book and talk about it a lot. And he said there's a lovely reading in the epilogue about generosity. And so I looked at it and I was like, he's right. So I'm going to share it with you. Let's talk about what we're doing today. Generosity is simultaneously a moral and a material imperative, especially among people who live close to the land and know its waves of plenty and scarcity, where the well-being of one is linked to the well-being of all. Wealth among traditional people is measured by having enough to give away. Hoarding the gift, we become constipated with wealth, bloated with possessions, too heavy to join the dance. She's describing a practice of her people that they gather, a gift-giving ceremony where there's a dance as part of it. In a culture of gratitude, everyone knows that gifts will follow the circle of reciprocity and flow back to you again. This time you give, and next time you receive. Both the honor and giving and the humility of receiving are necessary halves for the equation. The grass in the ring is trodden down in a path from gratitude to reciprocity. We dance in a circle, not a line. And I think that's one of the things that is an important practice here as well. This is a very, very generous congregation. I'm always astounded by your generosity, both to one another and to our larger world. And I also know that there are times when each and every one of us has already or will need to receive. And learning to have the humility to accept the gifts of others is an important spiritual practice as well as sharing what we have. And that is the spirit in which we are going to try and do our dance today. And it is a dance. We will be moving in a circle, I hope, I think. Every year, I can never remember if we should start in the back or the front. And Tom Coffey, one of our ushers, said to me today, well, didn't they teach you a class? Didn't you have to take a class in seminary about this? And I said, actually, yes. It's called liturgics. And actually it is, where you learn about how you do ritual and how you set it up and how you create beautiful space for worship and how everything matters. So yes, and according to my announcer help person today, John, I have a B thus far today. Because it's, not always perfect. We don't go for perfect. Yeah, there's still time for me to raise my grade. So this is the circle dance that we are going to do today. And before we do it, there'll be a little more chatting. This is a day where we both give and receive. And I've invited people to, if they would like to make bread for us to share, and you will hear from them in a minute. It's also a time we bring up donations of food or monetary donations for the open pantry of Greater Lowell, and I'm going to ask Caroline to tell us a little more about that in a minute. But this is the dance. Starting from the back, I invite everyone to come up the center. If you have something you want to donate, you can leave it. You don't have to, but if you would like. We will also have all the breads here. They're pre-wrapped if people followed my instructions. because this is post-COVID now. And you can take some. So we're going to give, and we're going to receive, and after you come up the center, no matter where you're sitting, I invite you to go back out and come back to your seat in a circle through the narthex. Everybody with me? Excellent. And if you just want to sit in your pew and watch it all, feel free. So let me see where I am. I'm going to, Caroline, do you want to just talk a minute first, and then I'll invite our bread makers.
So I want to thank Dolores for putting together this wonderful announcement that we should all read. But the very short version is the open pantry of Greater Lowell. We were one of the first supporters of that organization, and it's been something we've done every year, and I really look forward to this collection. And the open pantry has actually had to double what it has done within the last 3 years. We are post-COVID, but we are not post-pandemic. So all of those effects have just added to the effects that were already there. And so just to let you know, it is having to expand, and it is works with all of Greater Lowell.
So I'm going to invite the bread makers. If you've brought bread, I invite you to come up and just say a couple words about your bread. I made pumpkin bread, and you see it's in a very large basket. And this is a recipe that I have been making with my mom since I was little, and the reason is because it makes a lot. So it's something we always made at the holidays because we could give many loaves away. So that is my contribution this morning.
So I brought Irish soda bread, and I know some of you heard this story before, but it has no raisins, no caraway seeds, nothing in it. When I was growing up, my mom made it with raisins, only on special occasions, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and St. Patrick's Day. We're Irish. But when I got a little older, she started making me my own special loaf because I hated the raisins. And I have 4 siblings, and they used to just pick on me. Joan gets her special Irish bread. Because that was a big deal when we were young. So this is my very special Irish bread, which my mom made me swear never to make in public, but you guys always get it.
Do you want to say anything? Is this your favorite bread? This is Ezra's favorite bread, and we make it in honor of my grandma Woodmansey, who gave me an awesome baking cookbook and taught me to bake. And we like to make it a lot with our extra bananas, and Ezra likes to eat it a lot. And it has no dairy, just wheat, and I used coconut and almond milk in it, and it has eggs, and it's in little baggies here.
I brought cornbread because it is my favorite part of the Thanksgiving feast, and I brought more cornbread because I didn't have a big enough box.
My grandmother used to make pizza from scratch, and my father continued that tradition. And last night when I made pizza, I remembered my father, my grandmother, and this pizza crust balls. It contains only 6 ingredients. It's flour, salt, water, yeast, Italian seasoning, and of course, olive oil.
And anything that's left we'll bring downstairs later too as well. So I'd like to invite, starting from the back, those of you who would like to bring your gifts forward. And if you have monetary donation, I'll do that.